All right, hey chemists. In this separation of matter lab, you are going to be making sure that you could separate three components of this mixture. This mixture contains sand, salt, and iron fillings. When you get to your lab bench, check to make sure you have a couple of things. You have your vial that has your mixture, a hot plate that you will need later to make some warm water, an analytical balance to help you get the mass of things, a little ring stand set up with a funnel. You'll need this later for filtration. A couple of beakers should be at each lab bench, or you could find them in the drawer. And then you'll see some whey paper, I'll call them. They have these little squares. You're going to use these to put them on the balance to get the mass of things. And some filter paper. You're going to use this later to get the filtration. So I just wanted to go over some quick techniques for you. In the beginning part of this lab, it says to get the mass of your mixture. Make sure that you have a vial. You'll empty this out, observe it, and then you'll dump it onto a whey paper or whey boat. Make sure you kind of subtract out by hitting 0. It says it in the procedure, just so you only have a 0 here with the whey paper on the balance. Then you could pour your contents. It says pour it in a beaker, or you could pour it directly onto the paper. Get the mass of it, make some observations, and then it'll look something like this. Now the first part, make sure you get the mass of that. Then the first part is separating out the iron. It might not be abundantly clear here, but you might see some black stuff in here. There is iron. Iron is magnetic. So the best way to get out iron is by using a magnet. Now be careful. You should also have a Ziploc bag and a magnet at the lab bench. The reason why we have a Ziploc bag is because if you use the magnet directly on the iron, it'll get stuck on here. You'll never be able to get it off. So what you should do is open up the Ziploc bag, drop the iron in here, and watch. You might not realize it, but the only thing that's gonna move from this mixture with the magnet is the iron. So watch what happens. Woo! That gets sucked right up, really cool. And you see that right there. And then you're gonna try and squeeze all of that onto a separate whey paper, jump that all out, get that mass. Then the next part of this reaction involves you, or this separation involves you having to separate out the sand and the salt that's left over. I just wanted to quickly show you how you're gonna set up your little filtration station. On your ring stand here, you have a funnel already. These circle things are filter paper. What you're gonna wanna do, and if you can't see, you might be able to zoom in or do this slowly. You're gonna poke this into your funnel and then use a wash bottle or a beaker of water. You're gonna wet this filter paper and it's gonna kind of bend into the funnel. So you're gonna wet the filter paper and it's gonna get bendy, and you wanna make sure that it covers all of the inside of the funnel, no holes or anything. So it should look like this on the inside, right? It's bent, it kind of gets a little conical or like cone shape, and it covers the filter paper. Try that a couple of times and it covers the funnel, and then anything that I put through there, liquids will go straight through. And so if I pour some liquid through, it'll come down at the bottom here, right? You see it coming down. If I pour water through, it filters out, and any solid is gonna remain on there. Sand is not soluble or does not dissolve in water, but salt does. So if I add water to the sand and salt mixture, salt is gonna come down with the water, and sand is gonna stay stuck up here. And so in this beaker here that has some water is gonna have your salt, and you're gonna have to wait for that to evaporate. And in this filter paper is gonna be your sand. And you're gonna have to get the mass of everything. So this is a quick little video of making sure you have all of the things necessary for your lab. I would suggest re-watching this video or slowing it down to make sure that you get those techniques. If you have any further questions, I may direct you back to this video if you haven't seen it, or I'll try and help you in lab.